Welcome back to Supremely Black Podcast. This is your boy D Rose, man. What's going on, Spears? What's going on, Flizzy?
Hey man, ain't nothing, you know what I'm saying? Another week, ready to celebrate, get out of town, and just hang out and kick it. Hopefully flights don't get canceled and we can do our thing. Hopefully I can get down to Texas, man, and rock out.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to that. And I seen they had canceled some flights, but I think y'all might be good if y'all. I think they canceled them newer ones though. If you ain't booked anything late, because they canceled like I think it was like a third of their flights. So I think y'all might be straight. I looked on there and seen that they were still flying in from that area on the what is it, 30th, 31st, and the first. So I think y'all should be straight.
So, so the cancellation because of weather or the Southwest thing?
No, it's the Southwest. Really,
Southwest,
honestly, that's the issue is that they don't short staffing, but you know how they do. They don't like to communicate that. Like Southwest is either really, really good or it's trash. But for you to tell people that they need to go home and they couldn't get up out of Phoenix, Arizona for 3 days no matter what. People didn't travel for that, man. We already spent Christmas money to get out here, and then you tell me we got to cover everything on the back end for at least 3 days. That's terrible. That's a terrible way for people to celebrate holidays and get stuck at. For real. But hopefully y'all straight.
Not for real. But I'm good. I just want to talk about how well my Cowboys doing and how bad them Broncos doing. And I got Naya to it's been a good week because I got Naya to root for the Cowboys and she said she never would. So it's been a good week and everything. But that's how my week's been and that's how I've been doing. So I just wanted to put that out there for some of our hosts and some of our listeners and supporters and everything. So we them boys and Russ ain't do nothing for y'all. So
yeah, I mean we had a very Tory Lanes like season, bro. Just lost, L's all around. You feel me? That's just how it is, bro. I'ma still rock out. You know what I'm saying? We still orange and blue over here. It's been 7 seasons since we made the playoffs, but it's all good though. Hey. Win some, you lose some. You lose. Win when you live to fight another day. Can't even get it out, man. But hey, you know what? Yeah,
when the Cowboys shoot, when the Cowboys shoot, we hit our target.
I mean, hey, we took a few fragments this year. What can I say? What can I say? What can I say? What can I say? What can I say, man? You know what I'm saying?
Hey, but we have been serving that 23-year sentence. So
oh yeah, we've been serving a long sentence, boy. No probation. No probation.
Hey, real talk, man. But man, we're gonna go on
these jokes, folks. These jokes.
Right. Yeah, we're gonna go on and get into it, man.
So first we want to talk about well, as we always do, we don't mention the murderer's name. So at first we're gonna talk about
Hold on, Spears, we get to that. I do want to blame Rock Nation for how long it's been since we won a Super Bowl. I do want to blame Rock Nation and Jay-Z for how long it's been since we won a Super Bowl. Go on with the topic.
But our God will provide because God is righteous.
Yeah, and this is our quarterback reputation that y'all talking about.
So Jerry Jones, this on you. You know what I'm saying? Man, this is crazy, man. Go ahead.
But we want to talk about Atiana Jefferson. Her murderer was sentenced to 12 years, and so we want to commend the court system this time for semi doing it right. Because again, as we stated before we started recording, it's crazy how somebody who actually murdered somebody get 12 and somebody who shot at somebody is about to possibly get up to 20-something years. So, but we do want to commend the jury, the judge, the prosecutor, and everybody who had who played a part in the murderer getting the just due for the murder of Atiana Jefferson. And so we just want to commend the court system for that, the justice system, because we know the justice system be wrong a lot, but when they right, we want to salute them and give them their props. And because it was one of our queens that was taken, we want to make sure that we definitely highlight that and put that out there, just to say that we appreciate what was done, and we still give our condolences and our love to the family of Miss Jefferson and everybody who played a part and who is suffering from grief from that.
Yeah, I agree. Rising power to Miss Jefferson. Like you said, to me it's an unfortunate sentence because we've seen a lot of times where, minor cases are getting people. She lost her life, and to see that somebody's only getting 12 years, and then we're lightly speaking about another topic to where somebody could get 20 plus years, or we even know other people that have been wrongly prosecuted and have received more time than that. I mean, it's better than nothing, but it just still sees where we lack an inconsistency in regards to actually taking real ownership of people taking people's lives that are in suits, and because it's just to realize that her family has to celebrate what they did give them 12 says enough about our justice system right there.
Exactly. So, I mean, give them a semi shout out for getting it right with the guilty sentence. However, when in this situation where you got somebody shooting through a house, not announcing themselves as being an officer, 12 years just don't seem like it's enough. We had some people that's locked away for longer than that for defending themselves and proved they were defending themselves. But just because you might have been a felon with a gun in the process of defending yourself, you got a longer sentence. Like you just noticed, Spears, that we had people with weed charges with a long. Matter of fact, we got addicts that are addicted to drugs instead of sitting in rehab that's received longer sentences than what he's had in this type of situation. I just feel like the sentence is not long enough. We got a little bit of step of finding these officers guilty for doing the foul shit that they do, but the sentence gonna have to match up now because it might not be premeditated murder, but it's murder nonetheless.
And
I think it needs to start. I don't mean to cut you off, but I think they need to start looking at that a little different because I understand premeditated murder, that's one. But I still think that people that are in armed forces, they need to start looking at a different legal law to hold them accountable to a certain extent, because not a certain extent, to the highest extent, is because what I'm starting to realize is that they're being protected by the badge. We can see that. However, just to say, okay, this is on the second degree, or hey, this wasn't the intent, based off of their training, what gives them the legal right to pursue in that angle and shoot and kill somebody and only get 5, 10, maybe 3 years in probation? They need to start looking at that different, because you are somebody that we would consider as a skilled person that is handling high stressful situations. So if you're considered a professional in that field, there needs to be a law put in place that if you happen to step over the threshold and it goes against what we stand for, then it needs to be a higher penalty than what they got going on. Even more than premeditated, because murderers just move like murderers, but some of them can also be in with badges on. You feel me? Like they need to start looking at that, because they protected by a code, and it's never like they set out to go do it. But how are we to determine that? You feel what I'm saying? Because we don't know what it could have been or when they ever had any interactions. They don't really dive into like the background of, okay, Officer Flake may have came across D Rose in a traffic stop, spin back through the next day, and then it's just some random shooting as we look at it. But then again, they could have had an encounter. How are they doing about the background process to see if they've ever had any encounter before? Like, we think it's random, but that's kind of weird that you just shoot at somebody through a window and y'all ain't never even met each other. You don't know what the situation is. And they just be held to a lower standard because it wasn't quote unquote premeditated. I ain't shooting at nobody window unless I know for a fact that's what's going on. You feel me? Like, I don't be liking how they get protected behind the law with that. Some of that should be seen and playing.
I will say that they should the charge should be premeditated in a one, because what makes it that for me is you don't announce yourself. See, if you would have announced yourself, then I could see maybe, to or a 3 or whatever the case may be or whatnot. But when you don't announce yourself and then you go in busting, so you don't give that person the right to know who it is that is at their back window, then it has to be premeditated, because you came in knowing that, one, you didn't say who you were, and that you was going to shoot somebody who could be scared for their well-being, as she was, and just take their life. Or even if you, let's say you didn't take their life, but you shot them a couple of times, like, it's still with a premeditated mindset, because you didn't acknowledge and announce who you were and let them know. So then therefore they could say, oh, okay, well, I'm the homeowner, or I got a gun, or anything. You just come in, you see something, and you start busting. And so I do think that it should have been premeditated versus not being premeditated.
Not to mention, we got a child endangerment situation involved in this as well.
Yeah.
You know, if we want to go to Breonna Taylor's situation where he was returning fire and one of the bullets went through another apartment, they was trying to charge him with that also. So you got to play that same hand with this one. We got a child that's over there that could have been injured just as well by you shooting through the house. There's no reason at all for anybody to be shooting through a house without any fire being returned first. Then it goes for anybody at any level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
because I feel like once you stepped outside of that, not de-escalating the situation, you haven't been met by a firearm, you're a regular citizen, because now you stepped into just like a normal person would be. Like I had seen, it was a Hispanic guy kind of during our downtime. They had told him to stop from the car before they even stopped the vehicle. They were shooting before they got out the vehicle. So that's a drive-by. Like, I mean, like he took out running because y'all scared him. Like, who don't run from the police? And y'all just get out shooting? Like, these type of instances that happen is becoming way far too often, regardless of the color. It's just like, these people, they're scared. Like we said on several episodes, get out of the suit, bro. Like, don't find you something else. Go be a firefighter or something. Like, get out of being a police officer, because it's only going to continue to get worse. Like, we know people going to shoot at the police. And you can't say that they wrong, because that's what y'all doing to us. So it's only so long before it's a trained behavior, a learn, and we just go, that's how people move off that instinct. So they got to revisit them laws, and hopefully they got the right people that's in place to really switch that up. You know, protesting ain't going to stop with how some of those officers moving. And people going to start meeting them with that same energy, you know.
I got to check real quick, but there's a state, it's the second state in the U.S. that made a law where residents can fire off on police without any retribution or consequences if they don't announce themselves, and they have the right to defend themselves and everything. I want to say, if I'm trying to find it, I think it's either Indiana or Indianapolis, I want to say.
Yeah, there's one.
But it's one other state that already had it, and they're the second state to do it. And so, Indiana. New Indiana law lets citizens shoot cops. The state now allows people to use deadly force to keep public servants from illegally entering their homes or cars. Police, of course, are not pleased. So, it's Indiana. And so if a public servant doesn't announce themselves, or if a public servant is illegally entering or doing something, the residents are allowed to defend themselves and fire off on cops. And so I think it's a good law, but then I also think that it could cause more situations like Miss Jefferson and cases like that, or Breonna Taylor, because then the cops are just going to come in guns a-blazing versus, even saying anything at all, even if they don't announce themselves, versus saying anything when they approach a situation in the state of Indiana. They might just come in guns a-blazing because they know that there's a high probability that if this person is armed, they could fire off on me and not suffer any legal ramifications. However, I do think it is still good, but I do see the negative impact from it that could take place if the cops just start just firing off from jump.
But if you got your body camera on and it has sound and you announcing yourself, then they don't get off and they just fire on you, and you announcing yourself with your body camera on and whatnot. So you can.
That's not necessarily true, because even if you announce yourself, but it's a legal search, they still have the right to shoot you. So you can say you a cop all day, but if it's an illegal search, they still have the right to shoot you because you're trying to enter their home or their car illegally.
Yeah, you better make it legal. You better announce yourself and make sure it's legal. You better not let them, like they got them on a training day with the Chinese food restaurant menu that search all through your house.
Yeah. See, I get where you're coming from on that one, Spears. I just think it's gonna be bad on both sides because it's gonna be some people that just straight dumping. Because I could just think about, some of the people I know from like the Gary, Indiana area, they probably looking for an opportunity to go and let you think you about to get kicked they know, and it's gonna be action regardless if they know what's up or not. But then on the opposite end is like for the ones that, their cameras wasn't working, how they gonna be hitting doors? They might start just, we outside. Cause we know what y'all can do, but we also know what we can do. And the officer that so happened to shoot first was the one that didn't announce himself, and his camera doesn't work. It's a slippery slope on both sides because all they're gonna say is, "Hey, they fired, and he was the first officer in, but his camera wasn't working." So all they gonna say is, "Hey, I introduced myself." Nah, bro, we know what y'all are. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be a slippery slope, but Wild Wild West. It sounds like. Yeah, that's what it sounds like, man. But did y'all have anything else in regards to that situation or topic rather?
I just want to say rest in power, Queen.
Yeah, definitely that. Rest in power. Now we're going to get into a very hot topic, but it was Romeo and Master P, Percy Miller, Romeo Miller. They had a disagreement that had went to social media. Of course, it's kind of like the new wave. What's y'all thoughts on it? Like, do you feel that one, it shouldn't went to social media, or do you feel that you're leaning to what side based off of what's been presented to us to kind of break down or delve into if you choose to?
I will say that I don't know what's true necessarily as far as like all the, I guess you could say, details that came out of the stuff that was said. So I don't know. I'm not gonna say Romeo was lying. I'm not gonna say he was telling the truth. I'm not gonna say Master P been flogging all these years or that he's been presenting himself to be true or not, because I don't know, and that's not my business. But I will say that I do understand the frustration on both parts, and I can understand not wanting it to get to social media, but I can also understand why Romeo brought it to social media if it was true, and it's because his father was portraying when somebody else died from something and all this other stuff. And it's like, damn, I've been dealing with this and you don't care about me or you don't care about this, so I'm just gonna put it out there because you playing to these people one thing, but to your own family and to your son, you not even giving me that care or that much emotional intelligence or that much support or anything. So I'm gonna put it out there. But again, I really don't know what's true or not because a lot has been said and a lot came out. And so I don't know if Romeo has been basically the support system for Master P. I do know that if you go through the history, Master P was one of the richest men in the world and he was on his way up, and then he had to file bankrupt and all this other stuff. I don't know. Again, back then they portrayed it that it was his ex-wife fault, but then now Romeo come out and say, his mama did have some issues, but it wasn't all his mama, it was his daddy. And so evading taxes and then so stuff like that. So it's a tricky slope because I'm one of them people who don't like to put my mouth on other people's situations, especially when I don't have details or nothing about it. But I know as us being in this journalism field, that is part of our job. And so that's what we're not necessarily required to do, but that's just part of what we do. And so therefore, I'll just say if P been fronting all these years, he wrong and foul as fuck. Now, if Romeo lying and he did all of this for attention and everything, he wrong as foul as fuck. So that's where I'm gonna leave it and how I'm gonna keep it. So what about you, Rosa Flake?
I'll say this, I agree that I'm not gonna say who wrong, who right in this situation, but I will say there's no way I can see myself being in a situation with my father, a family member, or somebody that's close to me and take it to social media. I don't care how bad I feel about it. I don't care how much money they making. I don't care if they are in the public eye. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna handle it behind closed doors. We're gonna talk about it. I feel like it's another way that it can be handled. Now, this ain't the first time that this came out about P. I think people just start realizing it because it's Romeo. But it's been other times over the years where people say P was faking in front. I know the Nashville people at TSU say, hey, when this son came out of school, there was another side of the faking in front. They mad about that situation. Yeah, however, that may be. I will also say this. I felt like it was really fucked up when P did what he did on Instagram about talking about his daughter committing suicide, this, that, and the other. And then I see a box of cereal sitting right there by him on the steps. I said, is there any point where we not selling anything, people? P always got the box of cereal. It don't seem genuine when every time you approach something that you talking about rap snacks, you talking about Snoop O's, you talking about all these different products you get. Everything ain't a selling point. And that's where it kind of come off fake to people with P. Every situation you can, bro, that don't have to be an advertisement for your new products. You know what I mean? The thing with Romeo, as a son, I don't think I can ever blast my father on Instagram or Twitter or whatever it is, especially out of all the things he have done for Romeo in his life. He gave Romeo a jump start, which I ain't saying that overtake that, but I feel like when it comes to family, you just keep that stuff in house. We talking about a serious situation here, and we want to keep that in house. You know, he's 30-some years old. They probably not living in the same house anymore. Probably don't talk as much anymore because both of them are busy, this, that, and the other. And you might feel a certain way. Man, pick up the phone, send an email, text message, something. You know, I just couldn't see it. But I ain't in that situation. But just for me personally, I just couldn't see that.
Oh, before you go, Rose, real quick, I will say we don't know if Romeo tried that first, and
right.
I think
we don't know.
From one of the things that I said, I think he did articulate that he did try to have a conversation with his father over the years. I do believe that. But the other thing, though, that I will say is, I would say it's a little harder because I agree with you, but that's coming from where we come from and how we were raised and how we was brought up. I think it's a little bit harder for somebody who lived half of their life on reality TV. So everything's been in front of the social media, in front of the camera, in front of this stuff. Everything from good, bad when it comes to his life and everything. And even some of the dealings with Master P that he allowed to be seen were broadcast and on camera recorded and all this other stuff. So then therefore, that's his reality. That's his life. So going to social media might not have been as a treacherous act to that family because of how that family has been in the reality TV stage. Yeah,
that's a good point.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real with you, man. I really hated that this actually had happened, man. It's even though we've seen a lot of that live on social media, what have you, or just mainstream media. It was unfortunate because we know they don't actually record everything, and I could get where Romeo was coming from, and I could get where Pete was coming from. I think where a lot of people are just speaking of it because a lot of times people just want to take sides. The truth of it is that like when you lose somebody very close to you, like when I lost my mama, like there's a lot of times where you could think about people that you could beef with, you may not even see eye to eye with, but a lot of it is honestly you just emotionally charged. So people may never see where you're going with it. But with them being, the father and the son, that was probably just something triggering for him because it kind of reminded him of like what went on. But we can't, and Romeo can't even say that Pete didn't address his daughter losing her life. And he kept it real with the world in regards to what actually occurred. Most people would hide that, especially when you in the limelight. But for him to kind of just take the angle of going into the finances and all that, I just want to say, like, honestly, if this ever crosses him, like, just go to therapy and keep it off of social media, even though this has always been your life, is because honestly, when people are grieving, everybody grieve different. Like, even to Flake's point, not saying I don't disagree with you, but them ramp snacks could be something he could think about his daughter, and you thinking like, okay, it's that. But to him, it could be something that's still keeping him pushing. That could be his motivation to say, when I turn this off, even though I address this situation, this is still what I got going on. So I don't know why he could be clinging on to anything and saying, this is something still near and dear to me because you just lost an important piece. And so it's really, honestly, it's just when you're going through grieving, it really shouldn't be a lot of words. It should just be a lot more healing and speaking. And I think taking it to social media, you get everybody's input. But I would just say, from my own personal opinion, it's been a lot of things that I have disagreed with family or not seen eye to eye with over the years. But the last thing I'm gonna do is just lash out because I understand emotions are high and I can't tell anybody how to grieve. Like, I know some people that grieve in a lot of different ways. Hell, I've did it. I've had different chapters. Me and Flake had a very deep conversation. But I just think that when you're grieving, you shouldn't be speaking, you should be healing. And they just haven't healed, and you can see it just in regards to it because they both sound hurt. Romeo with his post and P with his voice, it don't seem the same. It's the harsh reality is that both of y'all are two broken men that the only thing y'all felt was to once again seek social validation for people that honestly don't give a fuck because they not gonna be there when you up crying. They not gonna be there when you supposed to be having a good time and y'all drinking and it's 4 o'clock in the morning and you want to just have a real conversation with somebody and they gonna let you cry and let you be there. Y'all took to social media. You're never gonna get that from them people. 90% just want to gossip and pick a side. So really just take time and be with your people and just heal and take it off of social media. Call them, pull up. If you've done that, then you just take your own steps yourself and never let it get to social media because now you got people that's going to bring up your sister situation and use that for a reason why y'all beefing, and then they're going to put money as if that money meant more to her life. And that's where it gets messy. But that's just my thoughts on it.
No, that's real. That's real.
Yeah, I think sometimes social media when you put it on social media, the other person could take it the wrong way and they get lost in the sauce on maybe what you really meant. Because even when Romeo posted, like you stated, that it seemed like the money, at the end of the day, it seemed like the money was more important than his sister passing away because you put that all in one instead of y'all sitting down and talking, and then you get past that part, comma, new paragraph, new story. Now, what's up with this money you owe me on these rap snacks, dog? I ain't seen the check yet. You know what I mean? So it don't seem like it's a division. It seems like just all running to one, and then you get lost in the situation because you hurt. So you heard about that, you heard about this, you heard about this other thing, and all three of those things get dumped into the pot, but that ain't really what you meant. Yeah. But I can see your point. Say you've been in front of the lights this whole time, been in, all this other stuff, videos, movies, whatever you got going on, reality TV shows. So now we get lost in that sometimes, and then that becomes our reality instead.
But you know what got me is when he said mom was always right. So that just let me know she always been in your ear. So what make her more right now? You feel me? So like when you get to picking sides like that, I'm knowing where you coming from, bro. You searching, you soul searching. But don't do it for social media, dog. Do it for your family for real, because it just, that seems faker than P having them damn noodles beside him, talking about some real shit. Like, honestly, not laughing at what's going on, but for real, it's like, that's faker than that because you're seeking social validation from these people so they can say Romeo right. But we're never still gonna know that because y'all have had those personal conversations and you tied it all into one and then you pick the side. It's like, what you gonna get out of that? My fault, Spirit. What was you saying?
Now, I was gonna say that the one thing though that we can't look over or dismiss is the emotional fragility of some people and how a compounding of different situations, scenarios, hurts, traumas can impact somebody. And honestly, some people can have mental, emotional, physical breaks where they just break. and we don't know if that's where Romeo was at. And so we don't want to just project how we think we would rock or how we think we would do on the people without being sensitive to the trauma or the hurt that they may be feeling. Because again, my pain ain't Romeo. My pain tolerance ain't Romeo pain tolerance. My emotional strength isn't Romeo's emotional strength. So he may be stronger in some areas of life that I'm weaker at, and vice versa. And so therefore, it sounds good saying like what we won't do, but I remember you telling me this, Rose, with your situation. You never know how you're gonna react until you go through it. Like you never knew, or anybody never knows, like how that pain can really affect them until they go through it. They could think that they're gonna react this way, they think they're gonna be this way, but when you actually going through it and you have the death of your sister, you have, you know, some things maybe adding up in your mind that your mama always tried to put you on game on, but you was always riding for daddy because you was a daddy's boy, whatever. But then now you're going through some things, you're having the loss of money or whatever the case may be, not getting payment, restitution on certain things and stuff like that. And then different things from, you know, stuff adding up to where you just might have a breaking point that may make you go somewhere, may make you do something. I'm not saying that it's right, but I'm saying that, you know, some people's just emotional strength or the physical or mental strength is not as strong or is not as weak as other people. And so some people do react differently than how other people react. And that's the beautiful thing of life. Everybody's different, but it doesn't make it necessarily right or wrong. It's just maybe sometimes you should, to both of y'all point, think before you react and say certain things. So then therefore you know that the action that you are taking is something that you can stand 10 toes on, and that you're going to go, you know, regardless of the backlash or regardless of the ridicule or regardless of whatever, you're going to stand on the decision that you made because you thoughtfully thought about the decision that you chose. And so that's all I wanted to say.
And you're right. That's exactly why I use my actual real life example instead of speaking about that, because I get it. I really do. And people are just going to handle it differently. My whole thing was, because I had this conversation with somebody that I'm super cool with that had lost their brother to, you know, a suicide, right? And it's like, when you go to anybody outside of your actual family, what are you looking for? That's the only thing I question. I can't question how you feel because everybody's situation is different. But what were you looking for by putting that out there? Because do you think that that actually helps with the situation that you're trying to get resolved, which is having the family unity, y'all coming together? Like, that's the only thing that I would question. Like, I don't agree with it. It's like, I can't, I get it, but from my situation and others I've seen, 85, 90% of the time, you really don't come back from that in its entirety because the trust is broken, especially when you haven't seen things like that just, you know, exposed on a large form. And then unfortunately, everybody get their opinion. And it's just, that's wrong. Like, I've had disagreements a lot, but I'm still going to tap in with you if I care. And the rest of you, say, fuck you. Honestly, like, we ain't never got around. And we ain't got no beef, but I'm straight on that. And that's just what that is. Like, sometimes you just gotta use that mental agility to be like, it's just best not to ever address it and let it be what it is. And I rock with the ones that I felt like it was needed to address it with, but it ain't for the world. So, but you know, if it made them feel better, I hope so. Yep. And that kind of like goes into like the other situation, not the other topic that we were speaking about with I think Spears, you said DJ Quick or Twitch. I said Quick. Yeah.
DJ Twitch.
Yeah. Let me knock on wood, not DJ Quick. Right? I don't want that news to come out. Twitch, but yeah.
Yes, Twitch. Give me one second. I'm trying to find.
Hey, but do y'all?
Stephen Twitch.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just thinking to myself though, man. Honestly, that really, I don't even get caught up in really calling people celebrities and all that. But bro, when I seen that that really hurt my heart, bro. Because I just look at them as like different because we really don't get to see black fathers be black fathers in that space no more. It's always a disconnect. It's always a beef. It's always them portraying us not playing our part. That was just one of them ones that was still in the industry, like, 50 and his son going back and forth. I hate when we fit into that mold. It's like, damn, bro, it don't really be like that. I know some great black fathers, you feel me? And I would love for the ones that quote unquote celebrities be the same way, but 50 and his son, now P and his son is like, come on, dog, we need y'all, bro. You know what I'm saying? Since y'all are in the limelight and get more attention than everybody else, like, get it together, man. Just sit down and y'all gotta go outside and box and piece each other up, do what you gotta do. Get you some little cold peas, come on back in the house and go on about your business, man, and get you some rap snacks. But yeah, man, piece that together, man, for real. Like that really got me. I'm like, damn, bro, they got us all type of ways, you feel me? Money or no money. Go ahead, though, Spirit.
We just wanted to talk about, and it goes kind of like you said, hand in hand with this previous conversation about suicide and the sensitivity of it and the importance of it. Stephen Twitch boss committed suicide a couple weeks ago, and we just want to say,
Your strong people, even though they might be smiling and think everything is all good. It could be as simple as a text message, a phone call, just to have a general conversation. You ain't gotta ask how they doing. Just have that quick general conversation with them and see where they mind at or whatnot. I know part of the story. The wife called the police as soon as she seen he wasn't there and the car was there. She automatically knew that something was wrong because that's not his normal thing that he would do. So it's a sad situation. Uh, of course, I didn't know him personally or anything like that, but from everybody who knew him said there's always somebody who's dancing, smile on their face, singing, being supportive, and all that good stuff. He's like one of the last people you would imagine to do that. But sometimes you need to check and just say, "Hey, how you doing, man? How your day going?" And just something simple as that can go a long way.
Real talk. Go ahead, Spears, you back? Nah, like he locked again. But yeah, I would definitely say, to Flake Point, man, really just sometimes don't be ashamed just to really just pull up on somebody. If y'all were rocking like that before they went through that dark time, like, hey, I'm outside. I'm saying? I just want to lay eyes on you a little bit. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Invite them out. If they want to do a little dinner or something, cover it for them. They might not, going through those different stages of sometimes being, depressed and, borderline suicide. Sometimes you will choose to isolate yourself so you can start to disconnect from people. You know what I'm saying? And especially deep depression is usually what leads to that. So you can put on this front, some people can, and smile and laugh and cut up, but inside they crying, you feel me? So it's really they using that as like a defense mechanism just to keep from you doing that real checkup call when they ain't around with nobody, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, just check in, it ain't no wrong with it. Tap in with them, make sure they straight. Spears, you back yet? Look like he got caught again. So yeah.
Caught again.
Yeah, so I don't know what y'all doing. But yeah, man, you ain't, no, you good. It's unfortunate that because I can only think about when I lived in Orlando as a girl that I have never even seen mad, cry, frown. She was always happy-go-lucky. You know what I'm saying? Super cool. Always. Her and her boyfriend was just like this. They dressed up like each other for Halloween. And man, when I had left, it had tripped me out to find out that she had left a letter for him and told her how unhappy she was in regards to life and things that was going on and hung herself. He walked in from work and seen it. And it's like, never seen the girl mad about not one thing. And they was just like this. And for him to walk in, it's like, man, you never know what people going through, bro. Like, I'm very passionate about it. So you will see me in different emotions. I've never seen her, bro, I'm trying to tell you, calls, customer cuss out, she'll put on speaker. She just a smiling and chilling. But those people hide so much. She could be using that as a defense mechanism because she could have been really battling some stuff and that she just had to put on that front for so long until she faking it. Inside, she mad as hell that they cussing out, but then she just smiling like. So a part of me, when I see that, I'm like, man, I'm glad some people can know that I be a little emotional about something because at least you can see
Yeah.
that I got some emotions. You know what I'm saying? Because the people that I've unfortunately known that was always happy-go-lucky, they have killed themselves, like literally. And as time goes, and you see, like, damn, they committed suicide. Where did that come from? You know, it's always that. Like, what? Like, it's hardly ever somebody honestly to commit suicide. And it don't catch you off guard. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
some people would be like, you know, but the people that I know in my life or family, like, it's like, bro, what? Then you get to thinking, like, what could you have done differently?
Right.
What was they really going through that they concealed? Because, you know, if they leave a letter, you actually blessed because at least you could have a
At
little
least you know
something.
what
But
they was
then,
feeling.
yeah, but then you haunted as well because they left you with nothing to fix.
Right.
Just think, you know what I'm saying? So, oh,
Yeah, and the families take that really hard. You know what I'm saying? Not
oh
only
hell,
they lose a loved one, but on top of that, it's different when somebody like might pass away in a car crash or something like that, because you left with trying to figure out, put pieces to the puzzle of, oh, when they said this, they really meant that. Maybe I should have. Oh, they wanted to go to the movies that night. Maybe we should have went to the movies, or you know, maybe there was a sign of depression they were trying to tell me, and I just couldn't pick up on it. So it seemed like as you being that family member, somebody close to them, that you stuck with trying to figure out what you could have done to prevent this, and it's really it's nothing you could have really done. You could have gave them everything in the world, possibly, and it possibly might not have changed that out. You know what I mean? It could have been that day they wanted to sit down and talk about something. You was like, oh no, no, well I got to hurry up and go here, but you know we'll talk about it later. Y'all never got to talk about it. In your mind, you like maybe there was the time they was gonna tell me, and I played it off because I was busy doing something else. So that's why I
and you
say
know,
that's why I say there's nothing wrong with, you know, even just a random I love you text, or, you know what I'm saying, I'm glad you're part of my life, or, you know, just telling somebody they important. Like little stuff like that might go a long way. I mean, we won't know because it's rare that they come out and tell you, hey, I'm thinking about killing myself. But just send that little stuff, if they are thinking that, might change it too. You know what I mean?
and you really never know because you know I like that when we have these discussions. Of course, we'll take a topic and it'll be about something that could be trendy, but it'll be real life stuff like the two people I was just speaking about is real. But then, you know, even though it was somebody else, you know, very close and near and dear to me that you don't even hear from them for a couple weeks, almost a month, and you checking in, and you could just know that they in a dark space. But that just comes from you just actually getting to look to know them a little bit to see what's going on. But to your
Right.
point, you just hope that that text message or that call or that check in with a family member is just enough for them to say it ain't worth for me being honestly selfish enough to take my own life. But it doesn't always work because you've seen people where they will say in the letter, it wasn't nothing that you could have done. I'm just
Right.
unhappy with my life. And that's
Right.
just a tough pill to swallow. You know, I'm just thankful for the people that I've been in direct contact with that may suffer from depression or, you know, may fight back suicidal thoughts is that, you know, I'm going to check in if we locked in like that, you know, but the check in, you know, it's just tough, man. It's because you just really hope people realize and understand they value to you. But the sad part about it is that that's still, like you said, if they got their mind made up and they just truthfully unhappy with life, you could call them all day. But they ain't gonna answer because they can't answer because they done made their decision. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's tough, man. So you know, I think we
Yeah.
might have lost Spears, but yeah.
Well, in the process, yeah, I think we did lose him. I'm trying to look up this suicide prevention hotline number. I probably should have looked it up before we got started with this, but let me get there for y'all. Suicide prevention hotline number. While I'm looking up that, I would like to say for anybody whoever thinking about it or whatnot, is a saying that I used to say. I ain't said it in a minute, but live life like you want to live. Because some people take this part as being funny, but I actually did the research on it. When your father has sex with your mother, he released over 1 million sperm cells, and you are the only one that made it out of the million. So you gotta
Yeah.
live life like you want a lotto, because you important is the reason why you are here. out of those 1 million. It could have been any other, but out of those 1 million plus sperm cells, you are here and you are appreciated and you are here for a purpose.
Yep. It's real now. Yeah, Spirit said that he sent to the group that he ain't gonna be able to tap in, so we'll finish it up. But yeah, that's real, man.
That suicide prevention hotline. My phone is 988. It's just 988. The only thing that popped up. You can also text 988 and they'll reach right back to you. Also, another number is 1-800-273-8255. Once again, that's 1-800-273-8255. That's a 24/7 hotline. And then also it's saying you can just text 988 and somebody will get back with you, or you can dial from your cell phone 988 and then somebody will get back with you. Somebody gonna answer that baby for 24 hours.
That's real, man. And I'll make sure send me them numbers too, because I'm gonna post it in the description of the video so people can see it. But yeah, it's definitely real.
We got to we'll talk about that.
Yeah. But that's definitely, a real topic, man. But rising power to, DJ Twitch. And, for anybody that could be struggling with any signs of just you want to give up, man, I promise you, there is somebody that cares about you, your existence, your presence, and just being here. And I can't say it doesn't sometimes times get hard and they may cross your mind, but man, just always think about the people that you're going to be leaving the impact and, selfishly thinking we could just end it for ourselves. But what does that do for the people that's sitting back looking and waiting for you to answer that call or respond to that text or pull up at that event and not to realize they're going to find out about what had occurred? So I know it sucks to think that you have to think about other people and it's your life, but at the end of the day, your life is bigger than just you, is what the impact of that really is. So, yeah. You got the Supreme Black person.
I got Supreme Black Person of the Week. I'm going to give it to two people. One is going to be Robert Meek Williams, as better known as the rapper Meek Mill. He's definitely Supreme Black Person of the Week due to him paying for 20 women a bond for them to get out of jail to spend Christmas with their family. I know a lot of people worried about me. Worry about yourself. Don't worry about me. I posted that. I got a response like, well, I hope his money okay. He saved it up. Man, look, if he can do that, don't even worry about none of that, man. That man out here trying to do good for the community.
Exactly. If you ain't doing it, why worry about it? Like, why you worry about that man's pocket?
Right. Even if it was his last dollar, he brought smile. It'll come back to him because he brought smile to ain't no telling how many children they would spend Christmas with their mother or whatnot. Yeah. The next person is going to be Kyrie Irving for what he did for the young lady. She needed money to pay for her schooling. Kyrie just spent her, I think, double what she was even asking for to help finish college, what she needed for college and whatnot. So shout out to them two brothers. Definitely brought that up because it's not too many times you bring up the good stuff that they do. Kyrie Irving is steady donating money, steady paying for kids' tuition, but people got caught up on a movie that he posted. I'm not here to say if he was right or wrong on that, but a lot of people got caught up with that and not the actual good he doing in the community. And then you hear a lot about Meek Mill and whatever he got going on. Like that guy brought up about his money. You worry about contracts and getting paid for albums. Anybody said none of that. He doing what he need to do in the community to help out. Now, what you doing in your community?
That's real, man. And since I think Bro might have hit the Black Business Minute, but we will go ahead and just close it up with, major shout out to Ed Reed for becoming the 16th coach at Bethune-Cookman, which is an HBCU out of Daytona, Florida. I myself personally think that's a huge pickup. Don't steal their joy by comparing it to Prime, but I will say this: the Prime hate has to stop, because here's the thing. If that is the new wave and there's going to be Hall of Famers coming back to the HBCUs and giving back and using their resources, that's what the fuck they supposed to be doing. Excuse my language, but that's just the truth. Like, I don't understand how y'all don't want people to help, but then y'all want people to help. But then if they consider celebrity coaches, so who cares? Like, the goal should be, if they know other billionaire owners, get your school right and get it up to standards so that Black kids don't think that it's a downgrade going to an HBCU school, and that's the goal. You don't have to keep asking. If you can get people that got the resources and they just give it, take it. That's the goal.
And if he stayed there 4 years, he did what he's supposed. He stayed there 3 years. He did.
Like I tell
And
people,
I don't care. I'll be honest with you. I don't care if they use it as a stepping stone to get to the next school. If we keep it in rotation, we can't have it both ways. We can't be arguing about Black coaches not getting the opportunity at certain levels of the college rankings, and then when they do, get mad about it. No, if we keep that same rotation going, that's what's supposed to happen.
Imagine Nick Saban getting critiqued to this day for leaving Murray State.
Right.
We look at HBCUs as that, okay, it's lower than Power Fives. Nobody else does. Like, we make that. Oh, it's not the same level of football. That's all the mindset. We don't know that. They just may have a lack of resources. The hood schools that we actually played in school, you probably about to get smashed if you didn't know what you were doing. Like,
right.
Those cats knew how to play ball. No matter if they didn't have a practice field, they still good. So it's like we need to take advantage of the attention that's been brought. Keep supporting the schools, go to the bowl games, give back if you're alumni, give back if you're regular, support the coaches, coach them in and out, and keep, because if the thing is if coaches come from the HBCUs and get the opportunity to push it, it's only right for them to go and reap the benefits of the major money until the HBCUs are established that way. And until we lay out a plan, you can't tell nobody to sit back, bless you, to just take $250,000 when somebody gonna be offering them $6 million. Like, you can't, man. We gotta stop there. We need to build, lather, rinse, repeat. Build, lather, rinse, repeat. That's just what it
right.
is.
That's what it is.
That's it, man.
Yep.
You can close it out.
With that being said, for all our queens out there, put your crown on, tip that thing to the side, let them know you are a queen. For all our kings out there, put your crown on, tip that thing to the side, let them know you are a king. We are supremely black, and we out.